When I was young, there was an amazing publication called the Whole Earth Catalog, which was one of the Bibles of my generation. It was created by a fellow named Stuart Brand, not far from here in Menlo Park, and he brought it to life with his poetic touch. This was in the late 60s, before personal computers and desktop publishing, so it was all made with typewriters, scissors, and Polaroid cameras. It was sort of like Google in paperback form 35 years before Google came along. It was idealistic, overflowing with neat tools and great notions. Stuart and his team put out several issues of the Whole Earth Catalog, and then, when it had run its course, they put out a final issue. It was the mid-1970s, and I was your age. On the back cover of their final issue was a photograph of an early morning country road, the kind you might find yourself hitchhiking on if you were so adventurous. Beneath it were the words, "Stay hungry, stay foolish." It was their farewell message as they signed off. Stay hungry, stay foolish. And I have always wished that for myself. And now, as you graduate to begin anew, I wish that for you. Stay hungry, stay foolish. Thank you all very much.
Another habit that you can establish is to become people-oriented. Recognize that everything that you achieve in life is going to be with the help or support or cooperation of other people. So always think, what is it that other people want and need from me? How can I help other people so they'll want to help me back? If you're in sales, top salespeople think about their customers all the time. They think about who their customers are and what their customers want and how they can help them the most and how they can help them even more today. In their relationships, successful people are very focused on the most important people in their worlds, both personal and in business.
I wanted to ask you, how do you overcome the fears and doubts?
I mean, look, the fears and doubts are a part of it. Can I be honest with you? Everything I've ever done started with a fear. My walking out on stage, that starts with the fear. When Oprah came and got me for this life class, I told her, I said, boy, this is like a stand-up appearance for me. I'm back there sweating. I don't want to talk to nobody. I have to overcome fear all the time. When I wrote my book, I was afraid. When they told me we wanted you to be a game show host, I'd never done that. I was afraid. When they said, we want you to do a talk show, I was afraid. I have to overcome fear all the time. But the best way for me to overcome fear is the dream has to be bigger than the fear. That's the only way you turn around and run at it. I just want something so great. I aim for stuff so big that the dream is bigger than the fear. Look at it like this, man. If you don't ever go for this, would it be better for you to face the fear or just deal with the fact that you just never gave it a shot?
Face it, definitely.
See, that's what the dream. And I saw you with your tie on. I know that makeup mirror, that's backstage somewhere in a dressing room. Somebody's hiring guys like you. There's no such thing as too old. I'm 57. If I went back out there, I'd get hired tomorrow as a stand-up. If you funny, there's a marketplace for you. Now, look, you got to
start where you are, right?
Just
start where you are.
I was homeless for 2.5 years. And the problem with most of you never felt no pain before. Y'all spoiled. Y'all spoiled. Some of y'all spoiled. Just bottom line. Your parents have done everything for you. You never had to do nothing for yourself. You're spoiled. We're going to keep it real tonight. Some of you are spoiled brats. Every time you ever got in trouble, somebody in your house got you out of it. Every time you've done something you're not supposed to do, people say, Eric, your mother's a tyrant. You're right. She kicked me out. You're right. She's mean, but she developed a man because she put me out there and said, you're going to have to grow up. And some of you have never learned to grow up. And so every time something get hard, you quit, you call mama. I dare you to take a little pain. I dare you. I dare you not to go home. Somebody said, I don't go home, I feel bad. Go through it. You ain't gonna die. At the end of pain is success. You're not gonna die because you're feeling a little pain. I'm not eating like I eat at home. That's why you're about to go to the next level, because if you keep eating like you ate at home, you'll keep being a boy or a girl. It's time to become man, woman. So don't worry about a little pain. My greatest asset is I was homeless. So I can't feel a whole lot of pain. I've already been alone. There's not a whole lot of hurt I can feel on a little paper. on a little test. So I leave you, listen to me. We have gotten to a point where it's midterms and we're moving forward. The days of you getting money, I'm not saying we quitting, but I'm saying the day has got to go from external to internal. You have to give it everything you got. No more TV, no more parties, no more playing. If you don't have a 4.0, what you need to be doing is studying. Get off the phone. I'm sorry, I'm not available until the end of this year. No, I'm for real. You reached the right number, but you called me at the wrong time. Call me back January 1st. I'm about to get busy now. Huh? I want you to have a countdown of your own and say when the countdown is over, will the real, watch me, because when I was homeless, I knew something was wrong. I knew that wasn't the best of me. And one day I said, will the real Eric Thomas please stand up? Will the real Eric Thomas please stand up? Stop being this high school dropout. Stop giving up. Stop sleeping on the street. Stop walking up and down Fecal Avenue like you ain't got nothing, and get your GED. Stop being afraid to take a test. Stop being afraid to go to college because your daddy didn't go and your mama didn't go. Stop being afraid and be the best Eric Thomas you can be. But listen to me, it's going to be hard. It took me 12 years to get a 4-year degree, but I got it. And guess what? On a degree, it don't have dates. So if it took you 4 and it took me 12, it don't show up nowhere. But I'm exactly where I wanted to be because I realized I got to commit my very being to this thing. I gotta breathe it, I gotta eat it, I gotta sleep it. And until you get there, you'll never be successful in life. But once you get there, I guarantee you, the world is yours. So work hard and you can have whatever it is you want. Thank you guys for your time.
What if you had a special quality within you that could take you from a bad mood to a good mood in a matter of seconds? What if you had a special friend that you could always depend on to help you through the tough times? What if you had a special power within you that could actually create miraculous happenings in your life? Well, I'm here to tell you today that you do have that special quality, you do have that special friend, and we all have that special power. It's called your humor being. I know, folks, I did stand-up comedy for over 25 years. I headlined comedy clubs and theaters and colleges throughout the country. I even had my own Showtime special. And I am not saying any of this to impress you, but simply to impress upon you every single time. I mean, every single time I was on that stage, I was well aware that there were people in the audience who were experiencing challenging times of some kind. Maybe they were going through a divorce, having financial difficulties. Maybe it was work-related problems. Maybe they or a loved one were inflicted with some kind of illness. But for those few hours in that comedy club, their challenges, their problems, whatever they were, didn't own them. Why? Because they simply allowed themselves to take time out to laugh. Laughter is the pit stop in the rat race of life, and that it gives you enough emotional fuel and repairs to get back into the race again. But the proficiency and the initiative in which you allow yourself to laugh comes from what I call your humor being. I believe everyone on this planet is born with their own internal humor being. Unfortunately, most people go their entire lives never knowing they have this power, let alone how to tap into it and make it work for them. Your humor being is of your higher self. It is a part of you that brings out the best in you when times get really tough. What your humor being can give you more than anything else is emotional stability. I'm going to tell you, I was voted least likely to succeed in my senior class in high school, okay? Really, that wasn't a joke, but thanks. I was voted least likely to succeed my senior class in high school. And it was that type of negative labeling that molded the direction for most of my life. And one day I went on a quest to better myself. And I'm here to tell you that one of the strategies that helped me to turn those toxic labels around was my humor being. And another thing my humor being helped me with was to deal with the stereotype of being from New York. I traveled all over the place, and I was amazed when I started traveling how many people have negative opinions about New Yorkers. They're rude, they have an attitude, they're sarcastic, all they think about is themselves, they curse a lot. Okay, a lot of New Yorkers do curse a lot. They can't help it, certain words are adjectives to them, okay? Hey, when I was going to college, I was in a history class with a friend of mine who was from Brooklyn, and the professor was talking about when Argentina attacked the Falkland Islands. My friend stands up and goes, "Excuse me, professor, what Falkland Islands are you talking about?" So the professor's like, "I don't think you understand." He's going, "No, I don't think you understand. I ask you a question, I gotta know what Falkland Islands you're talking about. You might not know this, but there's Falkland Islands all over the place. What am I supposed to put on the test, for crying out loud? So the professor's like, calm down, listen to me, there's only one Falkland Islands. He's like, hey, moron, look at the map. You see those little pieces of dirt floating around in the water there? You know what they are? They're Falkland Islands. You got the Hawaiian Falkland Islands, the Bermuda Falkland Islands, the Caribbean Falkland Islands, and somewhere on there, you got Gilligan's Falkland Islands. See how much better you feel now that you're laughing? That's what. Give yourselves a big round of applause for doing that, too.
And that man, Mr. Leroy Washington, did something for me. He started planting seeds in my mind that enabled me to begin to dream, as Dexter has been doing for you. And ladies and gentlemen, I started working on my dream. And most people don't work on their dreams. Why? For many years I didn't. One is because of fear. The fear of failure. What if things don't work out? And the fear of success. What if they do and I can't handle it? The other thing is that most people, ladies and gentlemen, they get comfortable. They stop growing, they stop working on themselves, they stop stretching, they stop pushing themselves, and they end up becoming very cynical about life, and they throw in the towel on themselves, on their families, and on their...
Wanting too bad enough, who knows the mystery of some of life's best treasures when you pay that price.
My second story is about love and loss. I was lucky. I found what I loved to do early in life. Woz and I started Apple in my parents' garage when I was 20. We worked hard, and in 10 years, Apple had grown from just the two of us in the garage into a $2 billion company with over 4,000 employees. We just released our finest creation, the Macintosh, a year earlier, and I just turned 30. And then I got fired. How can you get fired from a company you started? Well, as Apple grew, we hired someone who I thought was very talented to run the company with me. And for the first year or so, things went well. But then our visions of the future began to diverge, and eventually we had a falling out. When we did, our board of directors sided with him. And so at 30, I was out, and very publicly out. What had been the focus of my entire adult life was gone, and it was devastating. I really didn't know what to do for a few months. I felt that I had let the previous generation of entrepreneurs down, that I had dropped the baton as it was being passed to me. I met with David Packard and Bob Noyce and tried to apologize for screwing up so badly. I was a very public failure, and I even thought about running away from the Valley. But something slowly began to dawn on me. I still loved what I did. The turn of events at Apple had not changed that one bit. I'd been rejected, but I was still in love. And so I decided to start over. I didn't see it then, but it turned out that getting fired from Apple was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. The heaviness of being successful was replaced by the lightness of being a beginner again, less sure about it. It freed me to enter one of the most creative periods of my life. During the next 5 years, I started a company named Next, another company named Pixar, and fell in love with an amazing woman who would become my wife. Pixar went on to create the world's first computer-animated feature film, Toy Story, and is now the most successful animation studio in the world. In a remarkable turn of events, Apple bought Next, and I returned to Apple, and the technology we developed at Next is at the heart of Apple's current renaissance. And Lorene and I have a wonderful family together. I'm pretty sure none of this would have happened if I hadn't been fired from Apple. It was awful tasting medicine, but I guess the patient needed it. Sometimes life's going to hit you in the head with a brick. Don't lose faith. I'm convinced that the only thing that kept me going was that I loved what I did. You've got to find what you love. And that is as true for work as it is for your lovers. Your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking, and don't settle. As with all matters of the heart, you'll know when you find it. And like any great relationship, it just gets better and better as the years roll on. So keep looking, don't settle.
That's what it really is. Now, when you ask people, have you failed to achieve something? How many have ever failed to achieve something significant in your life? Say, I. Thanks for the interaction on a high level there. But if you ask people, why didn't you achieve something? Somebody who's working for you, or a partner, or even yourself, and you failed to achieve a goal, what's the reason people say they failed to achieve? What do they tell you? Tell me. Come on, out loud. Didn't know enough, didn't have the knowledge, didn't have the money, didn't have the time, didn't have the technology, I didn't have the right manager, didn't have the Supreme Court. And what do all those, including the Supreme Court, have in common? They are a claim to you missing resources. And they may be accurate. You may not have the money, you may not have the Supreme Court, but that is not the defining factor. And you correct me if I'm wrong. The defining factor is never resources, it's resourcefulness. And what I mean specifically, rather than just some phrase, is if you have emotion, human emotion, something that I experienced from you day before yesterday at a level that is as profound as I've ever experienced, and if you communicated with that emotion, I believe you would have won. But how easy for me to tell him what he should do. Idiot, Robbins. But I know when we watched the debate at that time, there were emotions that blocked people's ability to get this man's intellect and capacity and the way they came across to some people in that day. Because I know people that wanted to vote in your direction and didn't, and I was upset. But there was emotion that was there. How many know what I'm talking about here? Say I. So emotion is it, and if we get the right emotion, we can get ourselves to do anything. We can get through it. If you're creative enough, playful enough, fun enough, can you get through to anybody, yes or no? If you don't have the money, but you're creative and determined enough, you find the way. So this is the ultimate resource, but this is not the story that people tell us, right? The story people tell us is a bunch of different stories. They tell us we don't have the resources, but ultimately, if you take a look here, flip it up if you would. They say, what are all the reasons they have in common? We said that. Next one, please. He's broken my pattern.
The second step in living without limits is competence. Competence means that you begin to become very, very good in the key areas of your chosen field. When you show a high level of competence in your life, you'll earn more money, advance in your company, and be trusted with greater and greater responsibilities. A great way to develop competence is to use the 80-20 rule, also called the Pareto principle. The 80-20 rule states that 20% of your activities will account for 80% of your results. In other words, you need to do everything you can to focus on the 20% of your activities that are most important, and delegate or delete as many of the other tasks as you possibly can. Now, the most valuable and important tasks on your to-do list are often going to be the most difficult ones. So get into the habit of tackling those ones first. Before you begin work, always ask yourself, is this task in the top 20% of my activities, or is it in the bottom 80%? Apply the 80-20 rule to everything you do, and you'll unlock new and amazing success in your life time and time again. Your top 20% of tasks are the most difficult, and as my friend Robert Allen says, do the worst first. Do the ones that you're most likely to procrastinate on first.
If you want to make six figures, you can't just be talking about you want to make six figures. You hear what I'm saying to you tonight? If you do the three things I tell you to do tonight, I guarantee you, whatever it is you want to do in life, you'll be able to do. You will be able to accomplish whatever you want to academically, financially, relationally, whatever. So three things. All right, I'm gonna tell you the story. I gotta get out of here. And the story is about, you guys have probably heard about this before. It was a young man who, he wanted to make a lot of money, and so he went to this guru, right? He told the guru, I want to be on the same level you on. And so the guru said, if you want to be on the same level I'm on, I'll meet you tomorrow at the beach at 4 a.m. He liked the beach. I said, I want to make money. I don't want to swim. Guru said, if you want to make money, I'll meet you tomorrow, 4 a.m. So the young man got there at 4 a.m. He all ready to rock and roll, got on the suit. He should have wore shorts. The old man grabs his hand and said, how bad do you want to be successful? He said, real bad. He said, walk on out in the water. So he walks out into the water. Watch this. When he walks out into the water, it goes waist deep. Well, you're like, this guy crazy. Adrian, he's like, I want to make money. He got me out here swimming. I didn't ask to be a lifeguard. I want to make money. He got me in. So he said, come out a little further. Walked out a little further. Then he had it right around this area, the shoulder area. So this old man crazy. He's making money, but he crazy. He said, come on out a little further. Came out a little further. It was right at his mouth. My man like, I'm about to go back in here. This guy is mine. So the old man said, I thought you said you wanted to be successful. He said, I do. He said, walk a little further. He came, dropped his head in, held him down, hold him down. My man getting scratching, holding him down. I got you. I know you brushed it out, but I got you. He had him held down. I need you for an illustration. He had him held down. Just before my man was about to pass out, he raised him up. He said, I got a question for you. Somebody answered the question for me. He said, when you were underwater, what did you want to do? Lee, I'm looking for a different word though than live. What's that word? He said, I wanted to breathe. He told the guy, he said, when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. I don't know how many of y'all got asthma in here today, but if you ever had an asthma attack before, you short of breath, SOB, shortness of breath, you wheezing. The only thing you trying to do is get some air. You don't care about no basketball game. You don't care what's on TV. You don't care about nobody calling you. You don't care about a party. The only thing you care about when you're trying to breathe is to get some fresh air. That's it. And when you get to the point where all you want to do is be successful as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. And I'm here to tell you, number one, that most of you say you want to be successful, but you don't want it bad. You just kind of want it. You don't want it badder than you want to party. You don't want it as much as you want to be cool. Most of you don't want success as much as you want to sleep. Some of you love sleep more than you love success. And I'm here to tell you today, if you're going to be successful, you got to be willing to give up sleep.
Well, Aristotle said that 95% of everything you do is the result of habit. So the rule is form good habits and make them your masters, rather than allowing bad habits to form. In fact, the other rule says this, is that good habits are hard to form, but easy to live with. Bad habits are easy to form, but hard to live with.
When you are a person who is success-minded, you have a wagon that you are pulling uphill. Attached to this wagon is this very thick rope. You are shirtless. You have a rope on your back and you are pulling this wagon uphill at all times. You are totally responsible for your wagon. You are the only one on rope. Now, in order for the wagon to go up the hill, you have to have people, like-minded people, people on your staff, employees, people who you partner with. The thing of it is, though, you are the only one responsible for the pull. What you have to be careful of is as you pull this rope up the hill, you have to make sure that everybody that's on the wagon is doing something to get the wagon up the hill. Everybody's foot got to be hanging off that wagon, pushing. Somebody got to get off the wagon and move rocks from under the wheel. It's an old wagon you pulling. But what happens along the way, and you got to be careful, there are people who will get on your wagon and have no value. Get on your wagon and become very, very comfortable. All of a sudden, they feet up off the ground. They just on the wagon ride. And you have them in your life as a mother.
Everybody has somebody in the wagon they're pulling.
You all got somebody on your wagon.
Everybody has somebody in the wagon they're pulling.
That's doing nothing.
They've got their feet up.
Seriously, sometimes it's your children. They done just put their feet up. Now, at a young age, you understand that, but once they get to a certain age, you want them to help out. Sometimes it's your business partner. Sometimes it's the people you hire. Sometimes it's the people in your other department that's supposed to be helping with a project and they just got their feet up. Whoa, 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 whoa. You are now making my haul on this rope more difficult than it is. You must now shed yourself of this dead weight. If you don't, your climb with your rope will be, it's agonizing.
Jennifer says life is what happens when you're busy making plans. Should my plan be solid or flexible once I'm clear on what I want?
Well, it's a combination of both, but you got to get tunnel vision to reach your goal. You have to put blinders on and say, I'm laser beam focused on this. But know this, the road to success is always under construction. So just knowing when you strike out on your goal, you're going to have to get ready for flexibility because there's going to be detours, pitfalls, stop signs, men working, delays, detours going around. That has to be expected.
Now, before I leave, I want you to do these two things. Number one, right now, acknowledge that you have a human being within you. Number two, I want you to make it a part of who you are. And you do this by every day allowing yourself to see the humor and the laughter that is around you. The more you do this, the more it becomes a part of who you are. And I want to tell you something. If you say you can't find something to laugh at, you're not looking. You want something real funny to laugh at? Try this first thing in the morning. Look at yourself first thing in the morning. No, really, don't even get dressed. Look into a full-length mirror, butt crack naked, and go, I'm ready to go. How many married people out there? Married people? Come on. Oh, yeah, there's humor there. There's humor there. As a matter of fact, I think a sense of humor is the key to a healthy marriage. But if you were to read Oprah Magazine would tell you that the key to a healthy marriage is to simply understand your partner. Are you kidding me? Have you ever tried to do that? Understand your partner, man or woman? Folks, listen to me. You will never, ever be able to understand your partner. The only thing that you have to understand about your partner is that there are things about your partner that you will never understand. And if you can understand that, you will have a better understanding. Do you understand? I was married to my wife for over 30 years. To this day, I could never understand why I had to get in trouble for dreams that she had. How many people have children? Children out there? They're the funniest people on the face of the planet. Why do we not take advantage of this? One of the funniest things about kids is watch how your kids grow up to be just like you. My son thinks he's a comedian. Now, he's really funny, but when he was in elementary school, we had a problem because he was getting in trouble. He was disrupting the class. He didn't know when to stop. He kept thinking he was on stage performing. One time he came home from school. I said, hey, how was school? He said, good crowd, good crowd. I said, don't get smart with me. He said, don't worry, I don't want to confuse you. He even does impressions. First day of school, the teacher said, so young man, what's your name? And he went, well, what's it to you, lady? The principal gave me a call the next day and said, Mr. Rizzo, we have another problem now. Your son thinks he's Jack Nicholson. And I'm like, what the hell you want me to do? How many people go to a gym? How many people work out, go to the gym? Oh, man, I'll tell you what. If you don't, get a membership to a gym, don't even work out, just sit there and laugh. There's so many funny people there. There's a gym where I work out on Long Island, and there's a bodybuilder that comes in there all the time. And this guy has a perfect body. He's like 6'5", 250 pounds. He's like maybe 27 years old. And when he works out, he's by himself. He never talks to anybody. And he has the headphones, in his, and you can hear his music blasting as he's doing it. And he's like a solid rock. But the thing that cracks me up is that every time he lifts something, I'm not kidding you, he sounds like the lion from The Wizard of Oz. And like if he's curling, you'll hear him go. And when he does this, my friends give me the cue. That's my cue. So when he goes on the bench press and he can't see me, and he's bench pressing a lot of weight, he's going, and I'm in back of him going, I can't lift all that weight. I'm gonna hurt myself. Yeah, you laugh. If he ever finds out, he'll probably be bench pressing me. So, folks, here's my point. I am not claiming here that your humor being is a cure-all for all your problems. But what I am saying is that your humor being can place you at the helm to steer the course of your life with equanimity when the storms of misfortune, change, and negativity are pouring down on you. It's one of the greatest gifts that was ever given you. What good is a gift if you don't open?
It's necessary for you to always explore various ways in which you can improve the quality of service that you're providing for the people in your organization. I remember something, a major company had talked about the extra value service they were providing for their customers. And the lady who had the news conference summarized it this way. She said, it's not our intention to satisfy our customers or to please our customers. Our intention is to amaze them. It's necessary, if you're going to compete today, that you look for ways to amaze your customers by being one of those individuals that keep your commitments, that keep your word, that's relentless. It's necessary as you work with the people that you bring into your organization, that they see that you are a good example of a person to work with, because you model integrity and determination and ambition and truth and honesty and the way in which you conduct business. The next step is, that is you. That is you. That no one can do it for you but you. And even though you face disappointments, even though you will experience some setbacks, it goes with the territory. You must understand that. I remember I was playing a game with my 9-year-old son, John Leslie, and I beat him 10 straight games in a game called Connect 4. And finally, I said, John Leslie, I'm bored. I don't want to play you anymore. And I got up, I said, I'm ready to go to sleep now. And repeat out to me, please. Let's say this together. It's not over until I win. John Leslie said, no, you can't go now, Dad. I said, why? He said, it's not over until I win. That was his attitude. We sat down and we played several other games. And finally, after the 11th game, John Leslie won, and he got up and he yawned. And he said, I'm ready to go to sleep now. And I'm saying to you, what if all of us took that attitude after we face a rejection and a no, or we have a meeting and no one shows up, or somebody say, you can count on me, and they don't come through? What if we have that kind of attitude? The car's repossessed. Nobody believes in you. You've lost again and again and again. The lights are cut off, but you're still looking at your dream, reviewing it every day, and say to yourself, it's not over until